Hi. Well, it's a beautiful day out here, as usual. And today I want to talk about your personality. Now, what is your personality? Well, first of all, personality was something that was developed in the 1800s by psychiatrists like Freud and others. and it's used basically to, you know, decide who and what you are. Okay, I mean, I don't know if you've heard of introvert and extrovert and all that stuff. Well, that's about you being decided on by somebody else. Depending on your behavior, you get decided on, and then get called whatever people think that is. So you're not even being perceived at all by anyone. You're just being perceived by your behavior. It's ridiculous. Okay, that's the way it is. So this personality that you have really doesn't exist because you are not what everybody thinks you are. And you're not what you think you are either. Now, your personality plays roles like mom or dad or son or daughter, and social roles like presidents, senators, congressmen, firemen, policemen, so on and so forth. Anyway, that's what your personality does. It takes on roles. And the reason it does that is because basically your personality is being run by your ego, or as I like to call it, this fake identity, which every one of us has until we awaken. Now, you may not believe what I'm saying. That's fine if you don't. But it's what is. Okay? And that's really all that matters. Anyway, to get back to the issue at hand, your personality. So, you are you, right? You're the personality that has been basically given to you. I mean, you didn't ask for it, did you? No. Some, school system or psychologist or your parents looked at you and said something about you to you, and that's what your personality became. Okay? I mean, if they said, oh, he's smart, he's clever, he's whatever, okay, but good. If they said something good, then your personality is going to be smart, clever, good. But if they said, oh, he's dumb as a brick and not a very good whatever, then you're going to have a personality that's like, I'm a piece of shit. That's just the way it is. I mean, I'm not making it that way. That's just where it's at. Okay? And so that's what your personality is. It's made up by everything that anyone has ever said to you. Okay? Really, about yourself. And if somebody says to you, hey, you're a piece of shit or whatever, then that gets folded in to your personality. Okay? And becomes a part of it. When it really has nothing to do with you. So, when you're playing these roles that we all play, okay, because we're fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, doctors, policemen, so on and so forth, our personality is really being run by the ego, okay? And the roles we're playing are being played by the ego. It's all one thing. Your mind is run by the ego, okay? And your personality is run by that too. Like I said, it's all one thing. So, when you do things, and sometimes, you don't know what you're doing or you don't why you're doing it, that's because you're being run by the ego, or as I like to call it, the fake identity. So anyway, your personality is just that. It's something that somebody made up about you. Okay? Because based on your behavior, and a behavior of a child is incredibly erratic. So how are they making any decisions based on that? I don't know. But that's what they do. Because what we like to do as human beings is we like to put things in their place. We like order. And one way of having order is by giving everybody a personality that says something about who they are. So that way they're who they are. and therefore they can't be anything else. Okay? And they can't be free either. So, when you are in a situation where you're not happy and you feel entrapped, which you undoubtedly will be, okay? That's because your ego has put you there to make you feel bad about yourself, because the ego only gets paid off in two ways: to make you great and achieve things and feel bigger that way, or to make you feel bad and get bigger that way. Either way, it's fine with it. It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't care about your life, which is why you need to get rid of it. Because you care about your life, don't you? Yeah, of course you do. But the thing that's running your life doesn't. I know it's really hard to think of yourself as having two parts: the part of you that's honestly you, and the part of you that's the ego. And I didn't even make that word up, okay? Freud did. Okay, but anyway, the point is, this thing is running your life. It is in charge of things. And as long as you believe in your personality and your person, okay, then you will be in its charge, okay? And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. But if you want to have any freedom at all, okay, which I think freedom is good, isn't it? Then you need to accept what is. And you need to realize that that is not you. That's not the person doing the thinking. You're not the person doing it. That thing is doing the thinking. That's not you, okay? You're not the one who's deciding on what you should do. It's deciding on what you should do. It's an entity, okay? And it's making decisions on what you should do, okay? And as long as you allow that to keep happening, okay, which you do, then you will have suffering and unhappiness. But if you say no, which you're perfectly capable of doing, you can say no by realizing that that thing is not you. You're not doing the deciding. You're not doing the thinking. The thinking is coming from it. And all those roles you play are just tools of the ego to control you. It's great being a mom or a dad or whatever, okay? But they're not conducive to freedom because they lock you into one thing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a doctor or a policeman or whatever, okay? But if that's what you think you are, then you're going to be very unhappy because that's not who you are. You are a soul. A limitless, immortal being who is part of God and who is just waiting for you to notice it. It's in here. It's in there. Okay? And it would love to have contact with you. All you have to do is not think and just take a moment of your time and pay attention to what's really important. Okay? What is really important? Let's talk about what's really important. Well, for one thing, breathing. You can't have life without breathing, right? I mean, you can have a lot of things without a lot of things, but you can't have life without breathing. If you focus on your breath for just a minute, and you don't think, you focus on your breath, then you will feel some freedom, because that thinking voice in your head that's always putting you down, because that's what it does, won't be there. You'll just be experiencing breathing. So, keep in mind that these roles and your personality are really traps. Okay? I love personalities. Personalities are great, but they're traps. That's what they are. Okay? They're a way for others to codify you, to decide who and what you are. Is that what you want? Is that what you think's important in your life? Having somebody else decide who and what you are? I don't think it is. I think what's important in your life is getting in contact with God. Because if you don't have that, then your life is going to be pretty empty. So, try to remember that you are a soul. And these roles and this personality are just like clothing. Okay? You can take them off. You don't have to wear them all the time. Okay? Even if you're a doctor, you don't have to wear that white coat all the time, right? But that's what they are. Okay? And if you are a mom and you love your son and he grows up and turns 20 or whatever and goes to college or whatever it is, he's gone. He's not coming back. And now you're not a mom anymore. And you don't know what you are because, I don't think I killed that bee. You don't know what you are because the purpose of your life isn't there anymore. And then you're unhappy because it's not there anymore. Because of a role that you chose to play, which now has trapped you. Anyway, the main thing here is to know that you are a soul and that this personality is like a chain around your neck. Okay? Yes, having a personality is, I guess, a good thing if that's what you want. But otherwise, it's not good for you. Okay? I mean, I guess this fly or bee or whatever loves me. Anyway, the point is, try and remember who you are. Try and remember that you are not a mom or a dad or a doctor or a fireman or a policeman. You are a soul. And as such, you do not need these roles that define you. That's what they do. They define you. If you're a policeman, then that's who you are. Take the uniform off, you're still a policeman, right? Ask most cops. When they take the uniform off, they still have the gun on, right? And some kind of a ankle holster or something, right? Because that is who they are. It has defined them. And that's the same thing if you're a mom or a dad or whatever. So, accept that these things, like a personality and a role, are not you. Okay? You are a shining, eternal being made of light, and that light is going to continue on once your life form dies, which it's going to do. No matter what modern science comes up with, you're eventually going to die, even if you die at 500. But that's what's going to happen, and that death is just a doorway into God. That's all it is. God is waiting for you in the formless dimension. He's waiting for your soul to become part of him again. Okay? And you know that that's the truth. You know you have a soul, right? There's no question about that in your mind, is there? And you know there is a God and he loves you. What part of you do you think he loves? The flesh? He loves your soul. And he's waiting for it. So, who are you going to be? Who are you going to be? Are you going to be little me who's all alone in the world? Who's unconnected to anyone? Unhappy? Or are you going to be a soul? All right, well, time's telling me it's time to go, though I don't want to. But just try to remember who you are, and try to remember that whatever roles you're playing, okay, and you're definitely playing roles because everybody does, aren't you. And neither is your personality. Okay, well, anyway, I love you all, and you're all beautiful